Okay, we are on the final video of the week, and I'm going to give you a different type of resource this week. It's actually something that I'm just going to read to you. It comes from a book that I actually recommended as a resource several weeks ago. It's called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, and I'm going to read something out of here for you, and it's more for reflection. I recommended it the last time because it gives a very different perspective and kind of expanding our normal boxes under that umbrella of all truth is God's truth. Where can we find truth in unusual places that we might not necessarily look for it? But there was a story that he tells that he that really made an impact on me, and I wanted to read it to you and just kind of leave you with it a little bit as a way for you to reflect. And kind of go with it wherever you need to go. So I'm going to go ahead and read this, and it'll just take a couple minutes, and we'll kind of move into the rest of just kind of preparing for the upcoming weeks. But just take a minute and listen as I read this. And this is a passage called The Duck with a Human Mind. And he says, in my book, The Power of Now, I mentioned my observation that after two ducks get into a fight, which never lasts long, they will separate and float off in opposite directions. Then each duck will flap its wings vigorously a few times, thus releasing the surplus energy that built up during the fight. After they flap their wings, they float on peacefully, as if nothing had ever happened. Now, if the duck had a human mind, it would keep the fight alive by story making. This would probably be the duck's story. I don't believe what he just did. He came to within 5 inches of me. He thinks he owns this pond. He has no consideration for my private space. I'll never trust him again. Next time he'll try something else just to annoy me. I'm sure he's plotting something already, but I'm not going to stand for this. I'll teach him a lesson. He won't forget it. And on the mind spins its tales, still thinking and talking about it days, months, or years later. As far as the body is concerned, the fight is still continuing, and the energy it generates in response to all those thoughts is emotion, which in turn generates more thinking. This becomes the emotional thinking of the ego. You can see how problematic the duck's life would become if it had a human mind. But this is how most humans live all the time. No situation or event is ever really finished. The mind and the mind-made me and my story keep going. We are a species that has lost its way. Everything natural, every flower or tree, and every animal have important lessons to teach us if we would only stop, look, and listen. Our duck's lesson is this: flap your wings, which translates into let go of the story and return to the only place of power, which is the present moment. So I wanted to give that to you guys just as a way for reflection. Maybe there's something that you need to let go of. Maybe it's mindful attention to whatever the present moment is. Maybe it's that cognitive behavioral approach in changing your thoughts, recognizing that everybody's not out to get you. Whatever it is, take that story with you, reflect on it in a way that's meaningful to you, and see what comes about. That's all I'm asking. So, with that said, we are going to move on to looking ahead. So, of course, this is week 13 that we're moving into, which means we have 2 full weeks of class left. Again, this week there is going to be nothing new that's added onto the roster of new projects or anything like that. Of course, we have readings from both the Clinton and the Ivy text. You will be conducting your final counseling session, your final normal counseling session, in which y'all are practicing those micro skills. And of course, then this will be the final time that you evaluate your partner as a counselor on their skills. Of course, we'll have the portfolio of competence that's due this week, your journal entry, and then there is the quiz. So it's all very, very normal. And if I didn't say it, our group discussion board, of course, we have that. So this week is very normal, but I did want to just call your attention to one of the assignments in our final week of class, which is called the final transcript assignment. This is basically, and of course this is outlined in the syllabus, so you can go there and get that definition also, but really quickly, this is going to be an opportunity for you to conduct an interview or a counseling session in which you can utilize all of the different micro skills that y'all use throughout this entire class. Reframing, confrontation, resistance, interpretation, all of those sorts of things. You're going to be able to use all of those. The person that you interview could be the partner that you're working with already, or you could choose to work with somebody else from our class in this assignment. Those would be two really easy ways to find a partner. If you chose to work with somebody else, this could also be a really, really great opportunity to have somebody else evaluate your skills or to be evaluating somebody else's skills. Again, not for the purpose of tearing down, but just to kind of see different aspects of counseling. So that could be kind of fun. If neither of those two options seem amenable, you are welcome to invite somebody from your world, a friend or a family member, to participate in this assignment. You would, of course, need to explain this to them, and they would need to sign your informed consent form that you all created at the beginning of the class. You would need to have a copy of that, keep that for yourself, and also you would need to give that to them. Now, one of the things that's very unique about this assignment is that you do have to video or audio record it. Either way is fine. You don't have to turn the assignment into me, but you are going to be transcribing it into your paper. And essentially what that means, and again the syllabus states this, is your paper is going to be 2 columns. And in one column, it's going to be the actual statement by either the client or the counselor. And then in the other column, you're going to be identifying the skill that you are using or that is taking place during those interactions. So you are going to need to make sure that you record this either audio or video so that you do have a way to transcribe what that session is. And of course, if you're working with somebody outside of this class, a friend or a family member, which is perfectly amenable for this assignment, this isn't a confidentiality, you're not counseling them, you're just practicing your skills. And so it's perfectly ethical and normal to do. But again, you would need to at least make sure that they sign the informed consent form and that they are very aware that they're being either video or audio recorded. Now, of course, once you're done with the paper, you are free to destroy this however you would like, erase it, that's completely fine. The book does have a template of how this will look, but the book, and that's the Ivy text, but the book does have a few additional columns in there. So again, you would only need to do the 2 columns, the skill that you're using in the actual conversation, but you can look at the book within the chapter in order to kind of get a better idea of what that should look like. Please make sure that you choose a partner to work with by the end of this week, okay? You guys know about this in advance. I told you in the video outlining all of the assignments that y'all got the first or second week of class. You guys have had the syllabus from since the first week of class, and so you've known this, and of course we are, I'm giving you this in the week 13 video, and this is due in the week 14 video, so y'all have had ample time to prepare for this, and so by the end of the week, you're going to need to have somebody to do this with. I don't really want to have y'all scrambling for a partner. So please feel free to ask questions if there are any questions, but it's pretty straightforward. If you listen to my video, if you look at the syllabus, if you go back and listen to the other videos at the beginning of the class, you should have a very good idea of what this assignment is supposed to entail. Again, I want to just clarify this assignment is not about solving that person's issues. This is about you demonstrating counseling skills, those micro skills that we have been learning the entire class. So of course it's going to take a little bit of time and preparation. You'll probably want to come up with an idea with your client of the topic of the conversation, how you want this to go, those sorts of things. Let them ad-lib, let them act things out a little bit, but letting them know, of course, this is not about solving that issue. It's about practicing those micro skills, okay? So I cannot reiterate that enough. The same thing that we've been doing in our counseling sessions as far as practicing is exactly what we're doing in this session, just to a higher degree because we're involving more skills in that, okay? The syllabus suggests, of course, using 20 minutes to do this. Most of you will go over that. Please don't go over 50 minutes. 50 minutes is a clinical hour, and so I want to get you used to that time frame. So I know this takes a little bit more time, but I believe that you guys can do it. So with that said, that is all I have for you guys this week, and I'll look forward to meeting y'all on the group discussion board.